75 days after being picked to lead the response to the border crisis, Vice President Kamala Harris is on her first foreign trip in Guatemala today. Harris says stopping migration is a top priority, but she is already at odds with that country's president over what is actually causing the problem. The VP also saying she will not be visiting the southern border because she is focused on results instead of, quote, grand gestures. And as the administration struggles to stop an influx of migrants, Harris has this message.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come. We, as one of our priorities, will discourage illegal migration. And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
But Guatemala's president is blaming President Biden's messaging for the record surge.
The message changed too. We're going to reunite families, and we're going to reunite children. The very next day, the Coyotes were here organizing groups of children to take them to the United States.
All right, here we go. Greg, so what did you think of her comments, especially trying to warn people off of coming to the United States?
Well, first off, I want to congratulate you on getting your real estate license.
Thank you.
The jacket looks great.
I knew you were going to come after my clothes.
Kamala's motto should be, she's not VP, she's why me. Because this is, okay, technically, she's now officially a racist, right? Because how could her saying what she said to Guatemala be construed any differently? Because if anybody had said that 6 months ago or 8 months ago, because she viewed it through the filter of race, they would be racist. If you had a strong, forceful position on the border, which most Republicans do, then you were a bad person, you were racist. So now she gets into power and she sounds like a Republican. She should actually be denouncing herself for her cold, cold stance towards the people down south. And it shows you how, it also shows you how the media responds. And so now if you criticize Kamala about her job, you say she's not up to the job, then you're, again, racist or you're sexist. However, it was the Democratic Party that threw her out, what is it, December 2019?
First.
Like, yeah, she was the first one to go with like 3%. And who did they choose instead of her? A really old white guy who knew somebody in the Klan. So I don't know what's going on here. I think the world has spoken. Kamala Harris is a racist, and the media had eviscerated people as bigots for saying the very same thing. And it makes me think maybe the media is playing favorites, Dana. I don't know if that's the case. I may not have enough data on that, but I think they might have not meant it when they were calling everybody racists.
That's true. They might not have. A little disingenuous.
Yes, yes.
Right,
and if you see anything like a 4-bedroom with a pool, if you can just like, you know,
and do you still need one of those? Do you need a basement for all of your ferrets?
I need a basement.
And the other things that you do in the basement?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be looking into that. You're actually right. This does look like a real estate outfit. Okay, Geraldo, you've been in Guatemala in the past. You saw that they were at odds a little bit about what the root cause is. Do you think there was anything that the Biden administration put forth today that would actually get to the root cause?
Well, first of all, I am much more bullish on migration than most of the people in this building. I really believe that it is the characteristic of a robust, growing, vibrant country that we take these strong backs, we absorb them. Look at all the help wanted signs. There's an unmistakable pull. Or stay there, you get $2 a day. Come here, you get $20 an hour. In terms of what's going on now and the disorder and the dysfunction at the border, I think that is lamentable, and I do put the responsibility for that on the Biden administration. I think that President Trump was harsh. He was a bully. He took the Mexican president, Lopez Obrador, and kind of slapped him around and said, we're going to put tariffs on you if you don't use the Mexican army to intervene and intercede and stop these folks from taking the 2,000-mile trek across Mexico to get to our southern border. Biden's message was much more mushy. Yeah, come, it's great, immigration. What I said to start my little segment here, immigration is good, Biden said. That's the wrong message for the American president. The American president had to stay home, apply, get in line,
right,
and so forth. And as a result of his mixed messaging, I think you have chaos now, and you have tragedy being acted out in the Arizona desert.
Kamala Harris also responded to GOP criticism. Take a listen to this, Katie.
On the issue of Republicans' political attacks or criticism or even concerns, the reason I am here in Guatemala as my first trip as Vice President of the United States is because this is one of our highest priorities, and I will continue to be focused on that kind of work as opposed to grand gestures.
Okay, so visiting the border where there are a number of American citizens affected by this crisis is now some kind of grand gesture. It's nice that the vice president is in Guatemala to figure out what the root causes of this, whatever they want to come up with to make an excuse for their own policy positions. You can talk a lot, but if you don't have policy positions to back up and stop the flow coming north, nothing is going to change. And she talks about Republican criticism. It's not just Republicans, it's border state Democrats, like Henry Cuellar, for example, who's the one who first gave us all those photos of the crowded facilities, the ICE facilities, saying you need to do something about this. Just had the mayor of McAllen, Texas, a Republican, win in that city when Hillary Clinton won that city by 40%. It's an 85% Hispanic population there. And this idea that they keep saying, well, on one hand, we don't want you to come, but on the other hand, as the president of Guatemala said, you know, your policy is saying if you let kids stay and families and parents stay, then people are going to continue. The coyotes are going to benefit from that. That's a square peg in a round hole. On one hand, you can't say don't come, but then have policies that enable that. And the final thing is, you know, when you're dealing with criminal Mexican cartels who are making $20 million a day off of trafficking, which these politicians in Guatemala are concerned about. And today, the vice president actually was being protested today by locals saying stop funding criminality. You need a tough guy like Trump. You need tough policies to stop cartels from profiting off of this human crisis. And apparently, the Biden administration has no interest in doing that and taking it seriously. And she's the vice president of the United States, not of Guatemala. So maybe visiting a couple of towns that are affected by this would be nice.
But it does make you wonder, Sean, if you remember when all of the Democrats went and did grand gestures at the border during the campaign? I mean, is that what was happening? I think during, you know, child separation policy and going down there and all of that. But I also wanted to ask you this. So Biden gives her this charge back 75 days ago, okay, and then she's waited. Okay, now 3 days ago she got the assignment to try to get the election bill passed for the Democrats. And Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, put a stake in that over the weekend. So she's not batting 1,000.
She gets the garbage can of all of Joe Biden's priorities, right? She gets stuck with all the garbage. But I think, I mean, to Katie's point, I think it's important to note that she's looking for the root causes of what's going on in Guatemala and the Northern Triangle countries. And if you want to know what the root cause is, there's crime, there's corruption, and people want to get the heck out. Yeah. And the border's open. So close our border and actually have people stay in these countries, the innovators, the job creators, the entrepreneurs. If they stay there, they'll force the political change that's necessary. But if we think that we're going to give Guatemala and the Northern Triangle countries billions of dollars and think that tomorrow we're going to resolve their problems, we're not. It's going to take decades. And so what, we're going to keep the border open for 20 years and let people come up and into the country? I think we as Americans have a right to say who comes in and who doesn't. It's not willy-nilly who wants to make the trek north over, 1,500 miles and come into, on
I think the case could be made that the actual root cause is the problem that we don't have a secure border.
Yeah.
That's actually.
But I disagree. I do want the people that take the risk, because that usually.
I agree.
That usually is the person that, now I would want them to do it legally.
Darwinian.
But they're the survival of the. They're usually
who walks 2,000 miles.
Right. The innovators are the people that we want too. We want the innovators. We want the creators. But I see
there's a lot of bad people coming up across the border.
Well, I agree.
The drug dealers.
But they make it over the walls. They make it. They fly. They dig. They take boats. The pros are not going to be stopped.
But what happens to
the
Guatemala?
wall stops Juan and Maria.
This is what happens to Guatemala if those people stay. Nothing.
Guatemala's a great big vacuum cleaner. It's going to suck up all those billions of dollars. It's going to suck up that money.
It's good to be back in studio where you can have a little argument.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.